Hi everybody, Russ and my Hammers 11. Hope you are all safe and well. With my table in. If you're new channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon so you're made aware anytime I put new content on. As always, we'd like to thank our channel sponsors, Untuck It. So, how are we, everyone? Who have we got in? Oh, Fo, hey, well. Phil, hope you're well as well. So, last night, thoughts. A hard-earned 0-0 draw. I believe it's the first 0-0 draw we've had for something ridiculous like 15 months or something like that. And our first clean sheet for 7 games. First time ever in the Premier League that Danny Ings hasn't had a touch or a shot inside of the box as well. So lots of firsts. And Southampton continued to not have won the last game of the year for the last 10 years or something like that. Anyway, what do you think? Hello, everyone. We've got Rich. Hope you're well. I was quite happy with a point, to be honest. It was one of those games where, if you look at we've had 2 draws, obviously the 2 all with Brighton and obviously 0-0 yesterday. Was more satisfied with the 0-0 yesterday than the 2 all, on Sunday, whenever it was. I think Phil echoes my not the best, but not the worst. It wasn't the worst game, I don't think. I think it played all right. A lot of people had a bit of humble pie with Mr. Dawson. I thought Mr. Dawson was very, very very solid. I just thought he played very well. He commanded this defense. He's got him shouting quite a lot, which is again something which, after a while people have been attributed. We don't talk enough on the pitch. He was marshalling people or trying to. So I thought he did quite well. As Fo said, respect the point. Respect the point. That's what we've got to do, man. It's all about those type of games where. I mean, the Brighton game is exactly, it epitomises it as well. We would have easily lost that game 2-3-0 18 months ago, 2 years ago. So, to have got a point out of that and a point yesterday, quite comprehensive. I mean, we should have won it, really. We should have won it. Again, I think that's the only thing that's a little bit my West Hamness is tugging at me, is we're not scoring. We're creating loads of chances, but we're not scoring them. 3 or 4 times yesterday we could have easily scored. So what does Kent says? Boring game, 70 minutes. The Villa away was last 0-0. We started with Barama. That's what I mean. Villa away, it was ages ago, wasn't it? We started with and I think we were in that last night. Yeah, maybe. I can see, and I know Moyes has come out and said that the reason why Barama doesn't get a start is he does give the ball away quite a bit. And I said yesterday, actually, I can see that, I can understand that, and I think you have to build the team around him if you want to play him. Should have scored on yesterday. It's probably the easiest chance. Kieran, g'day, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you had a nice Christmas, man. It's good to see. Had to eat a massive chunk of humble pie. I think everyone did, Ken, to be honest. I think as soon as that team came out, you just saw Twitter just melt down, didn't you? And Facebook. Because I know you don't go on Twitter. So on Facebook, it melt down from people going, it's, Moyes out. He's got to manage that team. We haven't got a big squad. We're playing every couple of days. And so, I think it was right to give Dawson a run out, and I think it's good. And to be fair, I think if he's fit, I'd play him against Everton. You know what I mean? I really would. I think he's a solid player, and he understands the English game very, very well because he's played so many English games. And I believe, if I'm right, that he's never made a mistake. And here we go. Here we go. He's never made a mistake which has caused a goal. I believe that's right. 10 minutes into West Ham career, he made a mistake, and Ings could have scored that goal, which is a typical West Ham thing to happen. But no, I think he's good. I think he is a. Someone mentioned it before on one of the YouTube commentary things afterwards, that he reminded him of sort of Ginger Pele in terms of how he plays, not in terms of being legendary status, but do you know what I mean? Very solid, not a dynamic centre back, but we didn't think he is. He's a workman-like centre back, and I think you need those, particularly when you're playing away from home and you're playing against teams that need to be, nullified a bit. And obviously, when Ings, the thing came when Ings came on, it was like, oh my god, when he was starting, I thought, oh god, here we go. Then when Shane Long came on, I thought, oh, here we go. But they did well. I thought they played all right today, to be honest. I think they played well. What we got here? Loads of comments. Thanks, everyone. Everyone's obviously been storing them all up, ready to go. Verbal diarrhea. Phil had chances from the set places which we scored. We did, which is quite unlike us because set pieces usually our forte. But yeah, a couple of times when Souček he chested it, he should have just volleyed it in that second half. With the first half when it fell to him, and it was just like, yeah. Rice, Barama had maybe four chances. We should have at least got one or two of them. I would have suggested. Probably he's like he's exciting. He's an exciting player. He's a player who comes on and he's definitely up for it, but I think it has to be managed. It has to be managed. He does give. I mean, he tries lots of stuff, and it's brilliant. He tries it all, but sometimes, in my opinion, it's a bit too much at times. And I know I'm being a right grump, but I don't mean to be. But I just think that it's how the team's formed around him. You need, although to be fair, he was tracking back quite a bit, but you'd have to play him as almost up with or as a 10, and give him that sort of slightly free role to license. But if that's the case, you need to play with Fornals, you need to play with Rice and Souček in that three. I thought Fornals had a good game. Defensively was a very good player as well. And I know we didn't buy him for his defensive ones, but Moyes has turned him into sort of bit of a terrier around the box, which is quite in both boxes, to be honest. Dawson rightfully deserved man of the match. Yeah, I agree. I think he did. I think he was solid. I think both sets of centre backs were pretty solid, to be fair. And I thought, and I think maybe the fact that Ralph wasn't there, he was doing his interview from his toilet at home, was probably a good thing because he wasn't there ranting and raving potentially. I don't know. As Moyes says, he did quite well when he was self-isolating. So it's how different players react, isn't it? I think Southampton just didn't have that zip. You know what I mean? The zip, there wasn't no real fast passing. It was quite laboured, in my opinion. Considering Danny Ings didn't touch the ball or have a shot in the box the whole game, which is the first time ever in the Premier League apparently that's ever happened. We did well to nullify him. I really think we did. I was okay. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I think Dawson, we knew he was going to be playing during this Christmas period, but Fredericks as well, as a two, playing the back four as well. There was a lot of variables which had just gone, in 5 changes, whatever. Everyone saw it was like, oh, here we go. But they worked. They did work. We should have got the win. It was a really frustrating game, but Fornals could be our new ticker. I agree. I thought Fornals played a really good game, to be honest. Dawson's the catching goal. Yeah, bringing back the legend of John Hartson there, wasn't it? And again, could you imagine if he scored? I mean, a lot of people when the squad was announced, the team was announced, a lot of people put some money on Dawson to score because they just thought, good luck to him. Hi Paul, hope you are, man. Brom has to play. We're not blessed with loads of ball wingers, match winners, and offer something different. As long as he gives the ball away, it's not the. That's a good point. That is a good point. He does. I mean, yeah. As long as he doesn't give the ball away, and he's trying things, isn't it? He's trying things. You can see he's trying to. As soon as he came on, he hit that volley, which ended up in the top tier. But he does try, and frustratingly, I mean, if that break in the second half when Bowen went down the wing and Fornals played it and Bowen just couldn't get it across, he got blocked by the defender and then it led to the shot and then MacArthur scored did the good save. It shows willing. It shows there's we know there's a player there. There's a player there. Anyone who did what he did at Brentford. He could have done it at Brentwood, but I think he did Brentford instead. There's a good player there, man. There's a good player. So it's how it's managed, isn't it, as well? I mean, I think he's a shoo-in to be starting against Stockport in the cup, in he as well. Do you know what I mean? Because then that will really, because you can tell the players, it takes time. He's such an unusual character that you can see sometimes like the balls are being played just too far, or they're not running, or they check their run and he's played it. There's that understanding which needs to happen, and you can't really do it. I would do it in the FA Cup game because I think give him 90 minutes and start him and just give him the whole game and see what happens. Door opening midfielders like Bromley take chances, give the ball away. I hope Moyes doesn't show. I agree. I do agree. I mean, And as Paul said, as long as he gives the ball away in their half rather than our half, I'll take that. Do you know what I mean? How many times did Yarmolenko did his one trick? His little link when he kicks it behind him, and God, so many times, but he fell for it every time. He's a one trick pony. That trick, he's very, very good. Barama, I just think he's exciting, and I know Martin, the announcer at West Ham, he raves about him. Even from in the Brentford days, because he'd go and see a lot of games in Brentford. He lives that way, so obviously on West Ham weren't playing at home, so he knows how good he is as a player. So yeah, no, it's good, man. It's exciting, isn't it? I think it's exciting. We can have this debate, this mass debate about how formations and players can play just by changing one or two players. We can change the whole dynamism and the whole outlook of the team. Now, in recent history, that isn't the case. In recent history, it's like for like. If Mark wasn't in and someone else would go, the players you would play would be very much like for like. There wasn't many game changers. Barama is a game changer. We know he is. And I thought Fornals came back, and that game rest, his energy levels were phenomenal yesterday. And that little sort of defensive when he sort of kicked it in the air, when it was going across him to Walter Peters, and he sort of got his toe in, he flicked it up, and he brought it back down. He's a player. I was really, considering it's a 0-0 draw, I got a lot out of that game. I think, to be honest. What we got here? Is this the team for the next game? Is Angus already given it to us? Fantastic question. Bono, Kufal, Suchek, Rice. Yeah, would be nice. Antonio, I still think we have to be careful with Antonio. I think Antonio is a better player for us when he's an impact player at the moment, until he's fully fit. You know what I mean? Hallow is a bit of a bruiser. It didn't really fell for him. The last couple of games, I've seen an improvement in his work rate. That's for sure. That is for sure. But I think Antonio, you can't start with him at the moment. It's too much of a risk, and we've got a long season to come. So I'd rather bring it on at 65 minutes, 70 minutes, when the defence are cold, they're tired. A fit Antonio, or even a 25-minute, 30-minute Antonio running at them is a scary thing. He's a scary thing, in my opinion. What we got here, God, so many comments, is converting into a left back. I don't think so, but who knows? Happy anniversary. Was that in the back of the photo? That was me in the back of the photo. It was. I was comparing my own wedding. Yes, no, I was. That was me. Thanks, Kent. Appreciate it. Yeah, the current Mrs. Budden. She was so happy to get her West Ham shirt as a wedding day present, and I was in the back just comparing, as you would do. Steve, hope you're well, man. Loads of comments. Thank you so much, everyone. It's so much easier. I don't have to talk half as much. Was great to see Mikel get a run out, look more positive. I felt. Is it me? Or was it, Antonio seems to have put on about another 2 stone in muscle. He came off the bench. He just looked like everything was going to explode. His legs looked like they were going to explode. That's probably why his hamstrings are always so tight, because he's got so much muscle he's got to carry. And that water bottle was so funny. The water bottle was like that big compared to his thighs. It was ridiculous. David, Viva West Ham. That was the B-sides to the Elvis song, wasn't it? Viva Las Vegas, I believe. Hope you're well, David. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to subscribe and come back and join us anytime, man. Anytime. What we got? We need more pace in the team. Simple as that. Allow coach free runners who wouldn't take advantage of their lack. No, we know it's the case, though, Angus, though, don't we, man? We know it's the case. We know it's going to be a lack of. We do have a lack of pace. There's not really much you can do to it, to be honest. Obviously starting with Bowen rather than Yarmolenko. I thought Yarmo played all right. Yeah. Obviously the front three of, Barama, Antonio and Bowen is an exciting three. It's an exciting three when fully fit. Russ, hope you had a good Christmas. Loving my time off work. Still in bed. Had a good drink yesterday. Good performance. Back four was amazing. Still in bed, you lazy bugger. It's 1:15. It's 1:45. It's 1:45. So either someone's been working today. Hope you had a lovely Christmas, mate, and you mum and dad as well. Hope you had a lovely Christmas. So, yes, I was glad. Good point. Regular place got a great. He had a good game. He had a good. I don't regular place maybe. Obviously, Oggie's always nailed down, and it's that second centre back, whether it's Dawson, whether it's Balbuena, but there's options there, aren't they? There are options. Obviously, Cresswell, if we're playing back three, will play the left. But yeah, and I thought Dawson played quite well. Dawson, Balbuena, is there much difference between them? I don't think so, to be honest, in terms of the type of style they are. Arguably, I thought Dawson's distribution was a bit better than Balbuena, but then to be honest, Balbuena, there's a lot of those sort of cross-field balls. He's like a bit more ambitious, in my opinion, where Dawson tends to just go. He did it yesterday, particularly. Obviously, I'm only just looking at one game. Tended to just sort of play it out right to Fredericks. I thought Fredericks played all right, and not a bad game, to be honest. Sure, well, saw the tie. Sad news. It's not sad news. Sure, it's all right, man. This is it's a weird thing with football and a weird thing with West Ham. Sometimes if we draw a game, it's a bad thing. Sometimes if we draw a game, it's a good thing. This was sort of a good draw. If that makes sense. Last Saturday or Sunday when we played Brighton was a bad draw. That was a bad draw. This was a good draw. You're learning all the nuances about what football fans are all about. Didn't Ings have the goal disallowed? He did, and that's what made me laugh because they said, "Oh, Opta said he didn't have a touch, but he did have a touch because he scored the goal, but he got disallowed. It didn't count." It's like when we played Leicester, and Leicester didn't have a shot on target until Vardy scored the goal, which was then disallowed by VAR, and then they said, "Okay, they didn't have any shots on target." I don't understand it well. I'm not confident in this game considering the rest. Yep. Arrest, yeah, exactly. Arrest is not great because of the Man City stuff, and it's not good. But haven't Everton still got some people out injured? I mean, never know. I mean, I'm being funny at the moment, Ken. Half a team come down with COVID, isn't it? And that's it, unless you're Man City. Yeah, and also obviously Everton will have fans at the moment, although we don't know. We'll see what Boris says later on today. They might not have fans by the time the next game, which will be an advantage for us because even 2,000 Evertonians is quite a lot of noise. We heard the Anfield a lot. They made quite a lot of noise for what then. Everton's a tight ground as well, Goodison Park in it. But yeah, but Everton are a bit like us at the moment. They're stumbling a bit, aren't they? They are stumbling a bit. We've stumbled a bit. Southampton have stumbled a bit. And yeah, we'll see. Again, it all depends about team selection, doesn't it? But obviously Bowen's at a rest. He came on, looked sharper than he has done for a little while. Soufal, he'll be playing, I'd imagine. I imagine they'll probably go three at the back, potentially for that one. And so that's the case. Then Ben Johnson. Who knows? Again, we don't. That's the thing now. We can't second guess our team now, and I quite like that. Do you know what I mean? There is something about having solidity in the team and a sort of a standard back four, a standard 11. But for me, having that sort of what are we going to do? Makes it exciting when the team sheet comes out. You never know what he's going to do. 5 changes yesterday was quite unusual. We lack flair, and we're just itching to see Barama. We're itching for him to come on, and then he comes on, we get excited. And I think we're expecting he's going to just hit the ground running. But he's no doubt going to be a fantastic player for us, but it's how it's managed, how the player is managed. And clearly the team is still learning about him in terms of how he plays. And you have to build up for someone like him. You have to build a team around him. You really do in terms of, because he has to be his own, he's a maverick. And a bit like when Pyatt came in, the team was sort of built quite around him because he was that good. So when he got his first nutmeg in, he did. What's Martin up to today? Don't know. Matt, text him later. See how he's doing. I don't know what he's doing today. Actually, he had loads of. He was texting me loads yesterday during the game. He always does that on WhatsApp. Which pacey striker would you like to see come in? Should we get 20? Oh, I'd like Danny Ings. I've always liked Danny Ings. We won't get him, but I'd like Danny. I've always liked Danny Ings. I've always liked Vardy. We're not going to get these guys in, but I'd love to. Could you imagine like a Jamie Vardy in that team? Just those through balls. Who else? The boy from Brentford is what's his name? There's another one. They got fantastic recruitment over there. He's doing quite well, isn't he, at the moment? I think you'd for that 25 million, you either go, or maybe you go and maybe someone like Luka Jovic. I heard Maxi, what's name is available? Maxi Gomez. So I mean, there's loads of players. I think you need to go out and buy. I would love it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Danny Ings. I just think he's a great player, and Luke and Jamie Vardy. But we don't get any of them. But we'll see what happens, mate. I also featured. I learned that our two worlds collide. West Ham, Marvels, Avengers. Yep. No idea what you mean there. Sure, sorry. Seems to be a good option, Jam. I think that's what we need to do. I think I would rather than go spend big money on a big striker. Having said that, I want to go buy Danny Ings, which we're not going to get. I think in terms of how we play, you'd need to get a good championship player or a good one from the Czech Republic. Maybe that's Sema. Is it Sema? Abdullah Sema? Who's going to come in, and they're not going to be guaranteed the first team spot. That's because I think if you spend a lot of money on a player, they think they're guaranteed the first team spot. And actually, the way we play at the moment, very few people are guaranteed to start. And I think Antonio's going to be our starter. So you need to be a second striker for Antonio. That's my opinion. I mean, everyone's got their own opinions. It's football, and everyone's got their own opinions. For me, Barmer is number 10. He loses the ball. He has ball in behind him. Yeah, I agree. He'd have to play as a 10. And I think if that, then you have to be careful of who else you put around him because of that. So for me, I think if you put him as a 10, I think you could miss out on a bit of defensive solidity because he would give the ball away because he would do because he's trying things, and you shouldn't take that out of his game at all. But I just think there's a balancing act really. Haller's good, only slightly makes up for his lack of pace. Good player, but will never make it. But doesn't relies on counters. Josh King, I beg. I mean that's the basic idea, isn't it? I think the assumption is that Josh King will be coming in, but I don't know. But is he that pacey winger we need? Pacey forward? I don't know. Who knows? We don't know until we ever go. Antonio used the muscle cheat. Yeah, exactly. Well, Diego Costa's free. Get him in. Nah, I never. Could you imagine? I think Antonio needs 10 to 15 each. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. I wouldn't start him against Everton. I'll start with Haller again. Because I just think there's an aerial threat with Everton as well, and I think you defensively at corners as well. I know we should talk about attacks the best form of defense, but it's useful to have that extra body when people are starting to get a bit tired. Then get Antonio on half an hour, all warmed up because it takes about 20 minutes to warm up. Bloody hell, to get those thighs working. We got a message. Get him in. But him and Barami, could they play together? What's going to happen? Who are you going to drop? Lucas, hello, mate. Hope you're well. And thanks for joining. First time I think you've been on it. Thank you, man. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on Twitch and whatnot. What's your view on Haller? Keep him or try and sell him if we can? I think we'll keep him for the summer and see what happens. There's a player there. There is a player there. And it really frustrates me because you can see how good he is. And we've said it before, he's a reactionary player in my view. So he's a player who when he thinks too hard for it, it doesn't work for him. He's a good reaction player. And that's when he's a good player, when he reacts. And so like things like Sheffield United, where he just went off, just twat the ball into the corner. And he did. And like the bicycle kicks and things like that. When he doesn't have to think, he's good. I would like to see him with a partner up front. That's everywhere he's played in a three or with someone up front with him. I'd love to see him and Antonio up front. I'd love to see him and Antonio up front and Barama playing behind as a 10. Then that goes completely against everything that Moyes, but that's what I would do. And then what we got 1, 2, 3. I'd probably play the back 4 then, with Fabianski 5, and then Souček. I've got to count because I forget. And yes, you got 5. Then Souček and Rice, and then I would play. No, then that Bone won't get in the team. Then that'd be too. Ignore me. Nah, ignore me. Sure, Golden's in, man. Sure, Golden's in the house. He's in the house. He's in the hizzle. Nolan, hope you're well. Hope you're well, man. And you joinee. I literally had to fucking come on to get this beautiful beast to notice me. Am I the beautiful beast? Thank you. Oh dear. I was thinking the same. No, sure he's in, man. Sure he's in the house. I know you have a great squad, but I'm old school. Prefer the team, the 80s. Yeah, no, exactly, Steve. Everyone has their own period. That's what's quite cool with with Miami's 11 is everyone has their own period they can talk about because everyone has a certain time which is fond of their memories. So are we resting Diop or is days numbered? I think he's not getting the team, is he? Not getting the team. Clearly Moyes loves his Oggy +1 in it, and I think Diop came in the other day because Balbuena was injured, rather than he played himself into the team. That's the way I saw it. I'm sure people or ITKs will know. And similarly, yesterday, Balbuena and Dawson are very similar players. I think they're blockers in terms of defenders, and so it's they're interchangeable, which is great. Remember those days, Steve. Dawson playing yesterday, that does spend the could do, and if we can get a few, get a nice bunch of money from him, who knows what's going to happen. But right, what we got? Snap. What do you think about the muted circuit break? Yeah, I mean, I think we will have I think there will be a sort of a pre, was it a winter break? They'll probably call it, because it's getting silly at the moment, isn't it? Not just for the Premier League, but also for the lower leagues as well. Was it? They said it on the Amazon Prime. Was it 7 out of 12 of League One games yesterday were called off because of COVID? And obviously the testing isn't mandatory in the lower leagues. Also, what worries me is we're going to be doing a lot of FA Cup games coming up this weekend, where technically the other team, so if the Premier League teams, they're all COVID tested, but the other team isn't. And I think, if I remember, with Charlton and Hull, I think West Ham offered them the COVID testing. They'd offered to pay for it. I think Charlton said no and Hull said yes, or maybe the other way around. So it does worry me a little bit. But 2 weeks off, get Antonio back to full fitness, go again. Will it be 2 weeks though? Who knows? I think what's going to happen, I think Boris is they're doing some announcement today, isn't it? Because they're reviewing the tier system, so we'll see what happens. I think that will be impact. But for a Premier League perspective, they are set up. You know what I mean? It's like they have all the protocols in place, everything set up, so it's not like they're learning from the beginning. If it makes a 2 week break and it means things can die down a bit, I don't really mind that at all. Jim, every Friday I used to go there, Steve. Well done, man. Holy hell, we're still at 12 comments by. I've got so many. Honestly, everyone's literally been it's like yesterday, no one commented. I was talking absolute rubbish for 40 minutes. Steve, how you doing, mate? Not looking forward to Everton. Thoughts? I am. I think we can beat anyone on our day. Anyway, Goodison Park is always a tricky place for us. We don't, Brighton's a bogey team and Everton a bit of a bogey team to us, aren't they? But I've just got a feeling, but I'm always a half glass full man. We can beat anyone on our day at the moment. We really can. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Ivan Tony. Yeah, that's the guy from Brentford. I like him. He's good, man. Hope we can turn over to 3-1 for West Ham, sure. Yep, sure, is in the house. Dave Bautista, he is. Dave Bautista is. He's been on the pitch, a few seasons ago at London Stadium. You'd see also, watch a film called Final Score. He's in that as well, which is why he came to the pitch, because he filmed a film at West Ham at the old ground before he got knocked down. And I met Dave Bautista in the BA Lounge in Orlando about a week after he was at West Ham. And I went, "Oi, Dave!" Like I knew him. And we sat down and we had a chat. He's a lovely guy, very, very big, very, very scary. And I told him what I did at West Ham. He went, "Oh my God, that's so cool." I went, "That's so cool. You're an Avenger. You're one of the Avengers, man." So, one of the, Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever he is. And he laughed, but he was a lovely guy. Pulled it over with. I've heard about this guy. He's called Felipe something, and he's not getting much game time. We should check him out. It might be worth a few bob. We should have signed Ollie Watkins. Yeah, we should have signed him. 25 is a lot of money, though. It was a risk, though, wasn't it? That's why I liked what we did with the Brahma deal. I know there was a lot of criticism, but I liked what we did with it because he was a risk. You don't want to spend 30 million pounds on a player who hasn't played in the Premier League. Same with Ollie Watkins, but Villa took the risk and fair play. He's a good striker. No, Barami has to play left, but inside foot in a free role. He has makings of a superstar. Just needs an arm around the shoulder and to be loved. A bit like when Pyatt came in and Slav would work. If you sold, looking at 15 loss. Yeah, possibly. Sure, Golden is. Yeah, he is. In fact, if you put in Nolan, I was going to say he could have been a complete anagram of his name. Twist ending is Sure Golden. Yes, there we go. Elementary. I liked Elementary. That was a good series, wasn't it? I like that because unlike Sherlock, where it was finished in like 3 or 4 seasons, 3 or 4 episodes a season, if that. Elementary, they just basically took what all the writing of one Sherlock and put it into about 6 episodes. I quite like that. Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, he is. It is. Yes. Oh, you feel hurt. What is the muted circuit breaker? Well, basically, Kieran, what they think of doing is doing like a 2 week, like suspending all the games for 2 weeks because at the moment in the UK, a huge spike, new variant of COVID. You know, I live in Essex, and it's been declared some sort of war zone today or something like that. Yeah, people going back in. Well, I'll be surprised if we don't get back into a national lockdown in the next couple of days. We're practically there already, but it's just names, isn't it? They just rebadged it, you fool. And that's something they've muted is taking a couple of weeks off just to settle things down because obviously Man City had a big outbreak, so much so they couldn't play the Everton game. What's the name yesterday? Southampton manager, and is it the? I think it's the Fulham game, Fulham Spurs game. As Fulham have had a bit of an outbreak as well, so it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. You met Dave? Yes, I did meet Mr. Batista, but I called him Dave. Oh, Dave. Triple H as well. Big West Ham fan. Triple H is. It's all about the game and how you play it. Volta from NXT UK. He was at London Stadium a couple of months ago as well. Is anyone here watching the darts? Do you know what? I haven't been watching the darts, and we've had a friend of the channel, Russ Bray, 180. We've had him on the channel. He's a lovely bloke, and I know he's back. I should really watch it, but I like it though. I think with the darts you miss, unlike football, which I think you can miss without the fans, because the fans aren't, when you're watching it on telly, the fans aren't sort of integral. You know, they put the crowd noise on. You know what I mean? With the darts, it's the fans, and then a bit of darts. Obviously, the 9 darter the other day, James Wade, was quite cool. When Alvin used to drive a Volvo, used to be his neighbour. You see him. Yeah, that's true. Yes, it doesn't happen nowadays, unfortunately, doesn't it? Andy, that match is the best I've seen watched. Oh, see the MVG and Cullen match. Very good. Vaccine approved by Oxford University. Well, there we go. There's all these vaccines coming in. That's why I think you take the circuit breaker in into account. 2 weeks time, and also there was a thing the other day. Would they give there's a discussion to give footballers the vaccine? I don't agree with that. It's not, there's certain people that need it beforehand. Some people in football will get it. Probably Roy Hodgson will probably get it for anyone else, being the oldest guy there. But no, I think it's a sensible thing to do. To be honest, particularly also, there's so many games over Christmas. Immune systems will be down as well because people are tired, just because you will be. So it could have a worse effect on you if you're tired. Same as a flu or a cold. If you're already knackered and then that happens, it could be doubled up. But is what it is. Dance is pony without a crowd. They make it. They do. But dance was the first thing to come back, if you remember, weren't it? Because they did the in-house. Dance is also one of the only places where you don't need to be in the same room to work to do it. If you're competing against someone, because as long as you both got a dartboard and it's all, it's all above board, then you can play a match without having to be next to each other. There you go. Unlike every other game like chess or I don't know, anything else, snooker, you've all got to be in the same vicinity. But darts, you don't have to. So actually, it's probably the most socially distanced appropriate sport out there. But I agree, without the fans, it's nothing. Watching some bloke throw a dart in his bedroom, which is what he did with the was it darts at home competition or something the PDC ran, something like that. I watched that darts. What a comeback by Van Gogh. And he did a thing the other day. It was replayed, sort of following him around Holland and stuff like that. It's quite interesting. It was an amazing game, Phil. Well, we're quietly moving into a darts channel now. It seems. Now, I never really. It's what Ali Pali is always one of those places I want to go to, and every year it comes up on the telly. We did until this year, obviously, and I go, oh bugger, missed it again. But then I won't remember it all to go until next Christmas. Do you know what I mean? I know people have gone and they've had a great time, and something I do want to do definitely. But when will that happen? Who knows? Will it be next year? Possibly. Who knows? It's the same with football as well, and everything in it. It's loads of stuff you want to do, but it's like you just can't do it at the moment. It's a bit crap, but we're still here. We're still here, keeping everyone happy. Got a couple of Miami's 11s coming up in the next couple of days. Some guys on the YouTubers and stuff like that. We got them on, which would be good fun. But no, it's it's one of those things where we'll see what happens today as well. I mean, this afternoon we got. I don't know when Boris is doing his announcement, but that will probably put all the cat amongst the pigeons this afternoon. I think it's the 30th, isn't it? I think it's today that he's doing the announcement. I know West Ham, Essex has declares major incident over virus cases on the BBC website today. So yes, we'll see what happens. There's a press conference at 5:00 today, GMT, from Boris to see wonder what he's going to talk about. I love hearing, but he reminds me, he's a top bloke, Russ. He's a lovely guy. Shares a really good first name with me. But no, he's a nice bloke. We've got boxers, we've got cricketers, we've got golfers. There must be a West Ham darts player. I'll ask Russ. I'll text him. I'll say, is there a West Ham supporting darts player we can all get behind? And we'll have a. I'm going to write it down now. Right, Russ Bray, West Ham darts. I think they used to be. Used to be quite a few, but yeah. I always used to watch when Sid Wadle did it. Yeah, I used to do it. I used to call the PDC, and then I used to call the Lakeside one the shit darts. Oh, shit darts is on with like Ted Hankey and people like that. And it was always like the razzmatazz of the PDC, just not as good, wasn't it? Hopefully, 20 we can get back to the stage, start cheering on the Hammers. Exactly, Stephen. Although at the moment they're playing bloody well. They're playing a white with at the moment, which is quite. And the one guy did all come back. We lost against Man United, so this is our first defeat for a long time. So who knows? What we say? Hi, hello, mate. How you doing, Neil? Nice to see you. 11:36 on Wednesday nights. Top man. I'm trying to figure out we get because is Angus still on? Because me and Angus are trying to sort out a time we can do our interview, and it's just a nightmare. And I used to work in a company where I was doing time zones all over the place, but I haven't done it for like a year. My head's all over the place at the moment. West Coast, East Coast, America, no problems. But it's always, as soon as I went that way a little bit and went into China and India and Dubai, then all my time zone things go right. Like I have to keep Googling, what time is it in Perth right now, just so I can get some sort of idea of where we are. Don't give the one at the target. Oh, poor old Antonio. 180. My Russ brain break. We had Russ doing the announcing the team back in the old girl back at Upton Park, and his voice was so low, and it was like obviously he comes on, and he's like, and I'm trying to like EQ his, equalize his voice, like literally turning everything off, like all the all the bass off, putting all the high in just to try and so it didn't just reverberate around London, around Upton Park. It was quite funny. You'd throw darts at Grealish, lovely. First day back, it will be very emotional day. That first Bubbles. I mean, I got a bit choked up at the Man United game, hearing everyone singing Bubbles. There's something very haunting about that song sometimes, and even more poignant in what's gone on the last sort of 10 months. And if anything, it shows us all that how the world's been changed upside down in the last 10 months. As a West Ham fan, it's about enjoying it when enjoying those moments where we play well, enjoying those times. Like at the moment, we're playing all right at the moment. We should be enjoying it, not worrying about the next game and stuff. Fact is, we're 10th at Christmas. It's a lot better than last year. We should be enjoying it because we don't know what's going to come around the corner, do we? So that's part of why I'm probably a lot more optimistic than I've always been, because of that, you know, just a realization of what's happened in the last sort of 10 months. Bobby George is a hammer. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Let me see. Let me have a little see and see what we can do. Pardon me. No, I do, Stephen. I do. But it's everything around it. I don't think it's really on the stadium bit, the actual watching the match, because I think you actually get a better view at the moment, and with Amazon Prime, whatever, you get all the stats and stuff to your fingers, and you can different views, and yeah, I don't think it's that. You probably get a better view watching it on telly than you do at the stadium, but it's the stuff around it. It's going for the pub, and it's going to the boats or the supporters clubs, and seeing those guys around. And Ryan made a really good point the other day on West Ham Fan TV, or maybe it was on our show, I can't remember. That a lot of those people you who sit around you, they might not be back. They might not be back. They might have passed, or they might have stopped going, or you don't know that because you don't communicate with those. If you don't, I mean, obviously families sit together, but for a lot of people, they sit with guys, they sit around people, they know people just by face, just by seeing them every Saturday. They might not be there then, and that's the horrible thing to think of it like that. But look, it's what it is. What can we do about it? There's nothing we can do about it. Was it Bobby? You met Bobby George, did you, Kieran? Oh, no. Best football theme in the Football League, in the Premiership as well, not in all of football. We'll just say, although Never Walk Alone is quite cool. He is quite good. It's a close second. In all honesty, taking my hat off, West Ham glasses off. It's getting there and back safely, and it is. It's about being. It's not rushing into it. Do you know what I mean? It's about being safe, because any decisions you make now will have effects in the next 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, on and on. If you can, if you can contain, if we can get it sorted and limit the risk, then it's going to make things easier, getting along quicker. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? For me, I think sometimes we're so trying to will us getting back into normality that we haven't got the vaccine's not fully rolled out yet, and so how can you accept anything? And they've got the second vaccine, that's great, but you still have to do from the vaccine. You have to wait 3 weeks for the first one that was released, 3 weeks, and then do another vaccine shot. So that's we've been sitting in isolation for what is it like, in and out basically for, what was it, 10 months now, 9-10 months. Another couple of months isn't going to hurt us really in terms of the long run. Otherwise, it's going to be, otherwise, like the floodgates, and then we have to close and open the floodgates and close and open the floodgates, and we'll be doing that concertina effect all the time. So, and for me, I just think it's a case of making sure that everything's safe and we limit the risk as much as possible. Thank you, Neil. Thank you. If everyone watched the hands 20 seconds, then who knows what could have happened at the start of all this. I don't think it's. I think it was always going to happen. For me, I think what's interesting about the whole of this is the good that's come out, and I'm always a half glass full person. The fact is, we're a lot cleaner now as a nation, as a world as well. Using antibacterial. Sides are being wiped down, and it does seem that people are a lot more cleaner than they were before, which is a good thing. People are more appreciative of spending time with their family, which is a good thing. People are being more creative in terms of how they're spending time. They're doing new things which they wouldn't have done. They're reading more, or they're communicating in a different way, which is a good thing as well. I don't think I've spoken as much to people than I did before COVID. It seems bizarre, but that was just me. What we got? Andrew, how you doing, Mel? Thanks for coming on, man. First time I think you've been on it. Andrew, Allardyce wants circuit break and doesn't avoid any chance of the baggies. Yeah. Poor old Sam. No, and I mean that. I don't mean that with any sarcasm or anything. Poor old Sam. I thought it was a real shitter yesterday for him. But yeah, he's got a tough job. He's got a tough job, isn't he? We know he's got a tough job. I still think I was talking to a guy today. I still think James Tompkins is going over to West Brom over in Chris. Let's talk about Andy Carroll going back. Could you imagine? Yes, Peach, how you doing, my man? When are we getting you on, man? When are we going to do an interview? We need to do you an interview. We need to do a My Am's 11 with Peach, man. We're going back and forth. We'll get it done. After the new year, we'll get it done, man. That's my New Year's resolution, is to get Peach doing a My Am's 11. It'll be good, man. And I only want it if you do a rap about every player you pick. All right, there you go. I remember saying lots of teams used to sing "You Never Walk Alone." It was a Liverpool song. Very true, Kieran. Surely you went around in the 70s, my man. It brings the worst out of people. It does. It has brought the worst, but I thought more best than worst in my opinion. Um, that's how people looking out for each other more. It seems, and that's in my sort of wheelhouse, so to speak. And people will be more creative as well. Usually with like a birthday, you'd get a card but you've had to be really, it had to be really creative in terms of, you know, how you interact with people, and I quite like that. I quite like people. My daughter's been on birthday parties with Zoom parties, and we had like a magician for our Christmas party and stuff. And normally we'd have just got a bar in London and just like had a drink, but it was, I quite liked it. And also it makes you appreciate when we do those things how cool it will be to go to a restaurant, to go to a pub. You won't just take it for granted. That's what I think. Big up. I've had a common cold this year. Normally I have at least two. There we go, Kim. I still think I had the virus back in December last year. My whole family, I think we had it. Because it didn't exclusively come over in January. It'd been over for a couple of months, 6 weeks. I think I had it, honestly, just because I came down with terrible, but it could have been flu. You don't know, do you? You don't know until you take the antibody test. You don't know, but you had a cold. Can't probably because you haven't been out as well, mate. Innit? Really, as well. You haven't been out so much, so you haven't been able to interact with people as much and going to shopping centres so much and things like that. So yeah, I haven't had my annual bad cold yet. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Lot of love for Peach. Lot of love for Peach, as always. Lot of love. NFDU. I was there in January, probably had it there. I think a lot of people did have it without realizing. And we had young Joe. He's only like 2 years younger than me. We had Joe Seeley on the other day, just before Christmas, just after Christmas, and he had COVID, but he was non-symptomatic, so nothing was wrong with him at all. But the only thing he lost was his sense of taste and smell. So that's where he knew he had it. That's where he had the test. And obviously he's got a negative test because I've just seen on his Instagram he's looks like probably in Dubai at the moment. So very nice too. So yeah, I think a lot of people have got it without realizing. A lot of people maybe in the early stages thought they didn't have it and just thought they had a cold or the flu, because obviously the symptoms are very, very similar. Totally agree, Russ. Last year was ill all Christmas. I do believe that was our first peak. I think so, my mate. I think so, to be honest. Me too, dog. Me and my whole family had it in December last year. Sicker than ever, Russ. See what I mean? It was only until, because it didn't. It was the first case was in mid-November, so in Wuhan. So that's why I love doing these things, because I come on talking about the Southampton game, and we're having like these real deep debates about COVID. But it's like everyone, that's the whole idea of this whole channel and stuff, is to give these sort of lunchtime things, is to give people a forum to talk about not just West Ham, although 9 times out of 10 we always come back to West Ham, but just have a chat about anything and get people's opinions and views, because we're all over the world. We got Shaw back in Canada. We've got Neil. We got Kieran over in Oz, and then we've got Kent in Kent. I'm in Essex. There we go. Two members of my extended had it and tested positive. Both okay. So, that's good. That's great. Do you know what I've actually got one. Look, let's play very, very quickly. What chocolate bars Russ got today? You'll not get it. You will not get it. But yeah, I do have a chocolate bar today. I actually got one especially for it. So yeah, I do have a chocolate bar, but we started talking about the Southampton game and it just went out the window. So maybe we'll roll it over to tomorrow, but we'll see. Yeah. Cheers, man. Cheers, Stephen. Appreciate that. Me too. Yes. And we've got, it's all, and it's, we have people all over. We've got Wally. Wally's in the house. There he is. Hershey's. No, I don't like Hershey's. Well, yeah, don't like Hershey's. I can't wait. Soon, I imagine soon we'll get that package from Canada, and we're going to do a live taste test of all the snacks. When it comes in, I'll let you know like a day or two before, so everyone can join in. But it should be fun. Galaxy, no. The nice thing went away because people didn't travel all over the world. Henry, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you coming on. And yeah, good point. Good point. Nowadays, everything's all over the world, and things like things like growing your own produce and stuff like that in your own countries would mean that there's less import and export, so maybe there's less movement of. But then again, the world's a different place now, man, isn't it? World's a different place. We can go everywhere. Whereabouts in Essex do you reside? I reside in Hornchurch, Peach. I know you got family in Romford area and Dagenham around there, so very very close, man. Very very close. Kit Kat, no, sure. Hello, sure you're back. No. Kit Kat. Geographically, I'm probably not too far from you, Russ. If the way, yeah, you are sort of over the water, innit? As soon as over your water, you turn left. I know where Blue Water is, so it's not too far from Blue Water, is it? West Ham Global. It is West Ham Global. But we are, Kent. We've got this silly little club in East London, and which has won bugger all in 40 years, and we have this incredible fan base all over the world, and this channel epitomizes it. Today epitomizes it. We have people all over the world on this channel, on this show today, and it's crazy because we're all joined. The only reason why we're all here is you all support a little silly team in East London. I definitely know it's not a cherry ripe, as you don't have. Oh, cherry ripe, that sounds fun, Neil. Maybe you can send one me, and I can do a taste test. It's not good, but they have a great. But Hershey's chocolate does smell of sick. I always feel it smells of sick. Curly Whirly, no. Milky Bar, no. 15. Yeah, it is. Stop talking about I'm a diabetic. Sorry, Stephen. I do apologise. We do play Guess the Chocolate Bar. No one is going to get this today. I'll be honest. Technically, I don't think it's a chocolate bar. It's sort of like Gonzo and his Pringles debate. I would say this is more of almost biscuit-esque, to be honest. That's what I would say. But yeah, crunchy, no Snickers. What's your Russ? Loki, I suffer from ADHD and I take medication when I wake up, but it's usually through the night. But your show kind of comes at the end of the night to make you feel a bit better. Generally, thank you. Also, I did have a bank account, mate. Do you know what? Appreciate that. Appreciate that, sure. And you're a good laugh, man. You're a good laugh, and you come on and we have a giggle. And I really, really appreciate how you sort of been quite open with everyone. Mate, everyone's got it. Everyone's got problems, and but it's talking about a minute, and that's the whole idea of this thing. The whole idea I started doing it was so people can feel that they could come on and have a chat. And yeah, we're on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and whatnot, but it's not. I mean, we get 50. We don't get a lot of people watch this because people are busy at lunchtime and doing stuff. But for us lot, we're like a little community, and so coming on having a chat, and if it makes you feel better, man, that's brilliant. And I really, really appreciate being so open, man. I really appreciate that, and everyone else does. Ken, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. But we'll see, Wes. In the world, we have humour. We stay strong. We in defeat too many times, to be honest. We do love our club, and it's not about the football. It's a state of mind. I think being a West Ham fan, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's a state of mind. It's not being actually about the football because we won bugger all. Mint thing, no. Ligma balls, no. Timeout, no. I don't like timeouts. It's either a chocolate bar or it's a wafer. Why complicate matters and have both together? Although I do like Kit Kats, so I've completely just gone against my whole thing. I live in Lambourne End when I was living and working over there. There we go. Then I came along 74. I was born in 81, so 7 years later I turned up. Sorry to make you feel old, Neil. I do apologise. What we got? Diabetic. He's got it in one. Tunnocks. Old school. Well done, son. That was a quick get. I didn't think it was take 5 minutes to get that. Well done, Phil, man. It wasn't a Kit Kat, it was a Tunnocks biscuit wafer. Do you like Imagine Dragons, the band? Yeah. Do you know what I don't like? There isn't. There's only a couple of bands I really like. I like songs rather than like genres. So I like this song. It might be like a grime song, but I like that, or it might be a rap song, or it might be a rap song. How would I? Or R&B, a rhythm and blues song, or heavy metal, I won't necessarily like all bands, um, but no, I could. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I don't mind them. A couple of good songs, and I try and play like one or two songs if I can, of everyone. So I like like Royal Blood. I play them quite a lot at West Ham. Foo Fighters, obviously, everyone knows takes the piss out of me for doing that. Um, but yeah, I don't like jump. The only sort of bands I really like is like the old fashioned bands. Like I grew up with like Rolling Stones and Status Quo and Rod Stewart and the Faces and all those types of people. I've been sort of I've always liked just Eric Clapton because I play the guitar. So I used to watch him. He's one of my first concerts I went to see was Clapton at Royal Albert Hall, same as the Stones at Wembley Stadium. So I like them. Madness. I like those types of bands. And then I like the new. I don't really like the newer bands. I like songs from newer bands. So I like things like Helicopter. From I can't remember what the band's called now, but all those types of songs, like U2, I like some songs from U2, but I don't really even say I'm a U2 fan. Do you know what I mean? Uh, I'm sure you're talking about the Tunnocks there. AC/DC, yes, exactly. Well done, Peach. Love a bit of AC/DC. I'm not lighting for no reason. Same with music. I've been lucky enough to be about in 1975 when we beat Alan Taylor. Hopefully we'll get Alan on soon. Sky and Motown depends a lot on my mood. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I love a bit of Motown. Love a bit of Motown. Like who I say like Simply Red. Quite like I saw them in concert. They were bloody good a couple of years ago at the O2. They were really good. So yeah, it's just funny, isn't it? Funny, and then I I like a bit of Motown, a bit of swing, love a bit of swing music. Just as you said, how the mood takes you, really, doesn't it? Kieran was around in the 70s as well. And Henry's just had a Tunnocks. Well, there we go. That's very good. Back in Black. See, I like Back in Black. Back in Black, my daughter used to like it when she was a little baby because it was on the Megamind film, with Will Ferrell. I think it's Will Ferrell. Megamind. It was like one of Pixar type movies. And Back in Black was on it, and so she used to like bop her head to it. It was really funny. Block Party. That's it. Thank you. There we go. No, that was right. I got to see Pavarotti and Sinatra. That's incredible. That's incredible, Kieran. Because I've been to Vegas quite a lot, and that's one of my, you see all the Rat Pack, tribute acts and stuff like that. But that's a period I'd love to have been around to see them, see the Rat Pack like live. Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. and obviously Frank as well. An incredible time. Unless Scar, yeah, Rocksteady for me. Yeah, I mean, I like a bit of reggae. I mean, I remember it's in the late 90s. There was a massive like popularity of reggae with like Shaggy and Bitty McLean. Do you remember that one? When it's raining, and Shaka Demus and Pliers and stuff like that. It's just funny, isn't it? It's just funny. You just like, and they're all still in my collection. Like the Proclaimers, they got some cracking songs. The Proclaimers have got, it's got some really weird eclectic music tastes. But I wouldn't say I like that or I like that. Like obviously, I play the guitar, so I rock and blues and stuff like that, and Chuck Berry and all these really amazing Aerosmith, all just like literally lifting off loads of exactly as pictures. Murder She Wrote, Murder She Wrote. Yeah, brilliant. What have we got here? Do you listen to? Yeah, I do listen. Yeah, I listen to Gal sometimes on there. Love a bit of reggae. Well, again, when you're in the mood, isn't it? But Gal likes to talk a lot over it, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? And that's what people like to listen to. I like listening to the songs, but it's more of a performance with Gal, isn't it? History, yeah, and Smooth. There we go. You see, two different good radio. Greatest hits radio station. That's really good. I only came on randomly. I started to listen to it because it was on when we were staying in the caravan in Caistor-on-Sea in October. It was one of these posh caravans, and it had like a Bluetooth radio built in. and it was I couldn't change it. But it was stuck. It was a DAB, and it was stuck on Greatest Hits Radio. Really, really good radio station for anyone in the UK. Actually, you can probably get it anywhere on DAB or whatever online, but no, it's very, very good. Best concerts was Jury. They're really great live act. I heard someone else talk about that. Tony Cascarino was talking about that on TalkSport the other day, about how good Ian Jury and the Blockheads were as a live act. How funny. How funny. Breathing Gate When I See You Before Tea, outstanding. Betty McLean. Tears in my eyes, can't you go? But my baby, don't cry now. And it's funny with songs, isn't it? It's like when you might not have heard a song for so long, and then it comes on and you just know the words. You just it was funny. It was like Wet 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 was playing, and it was like Don't Want to Forgive Me Now came on, and I sang it, and I went, oh, Now 31. She was like, my wife was like, what? I said, that was in Now 31. I remember that. And it was like, really? I had to go back and check. I love music. And music can just take you back somewhere, doesn't it? Listen to a few bars of a song, takes you straight back to the time of your life that you associate with that. I've been listening to Away Day. Yes, yeah. That's quite good, isn't it? Baz and Frankie being on it as well, haven't they? So that's good. My favourite UK is Joe. Have you heard of Joe? No. I haven't heard of Joe. I must apologise. I remember seeing a video of him seeing at Kieran Richardson's birthday. That sounds like a very good. Yo, mama. Ironically, my wife, her name is Joe, and her surname's now Budden. So she's Joe Budden, the famous rapper. Pump it up. See, I like that song, but I don't really like rap. I would like as a genre, but I like that song. I think it's when it's the songs of a particular genre are more commercialized. That's when I like them. Anyway, I'm going to go in a minute. Led Zeppelin's a great. I'm going to go because Kira must be knackered, and so must Neil as well because it's about midnight over there. I'm going to see Ali Campbell. There we go. Fingers crossed. But in all honesty, S7 is top tier music. Top tier music. Oh, we could do a really funny tier list with that, couldn't we? Anyway, everyone. I was going to finish like half an hour ago, but then Phil and who came on and said what chocolate bar you got? Probably Phil, and it just dragged me back in. But anyway, hope everyone has a great rest of the day. And I hope Kieran and I hope that Neil have a nice sleep. And good morning to Shaw and Peach. And take care, everyone. Stay safe. We'll be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do a don't go on call. Okay, it's still another hour. No. I want to have some lunch. It was me. It was you. I know. Nice afternoon. It's been great. Take care. Cheers, Stephen. Thank you very much, mate. As I said, after Christmas, after New Year's, we're sorting out all the shirts and everything for everyone because obviously then all the stuff should die down in terms of postage. Should be easier. Cheers, Kieran. Thank you, well, mate. Ali Campbell running free. I love it, Ken. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to do it's New Year's Eve tomorrow, isn't it? So we'll do maybe we might do a New Year's resolution, a West Ham New Year's resolution, but we'll see. I don't want to get in trouble, but that could be quite fun, couldn't we? But also we'll do a hit list. So not hit list as in who we're going to take out, but who we're going to get on the channel. So make sure you come up with some good suggestions, and we'll put all down and we'll try, and that'll be our list for next year. You know what I mean? So what are you having for lunch? I don't know, mate. Maybe some cold turkey. Because I've got a vacuum sealer for Christmas. I was very excited. A vacuum pack and vacuum sealer. I'm so fucking old now. I get excited by that. All my cold cuts of meat have been vacuum sealed, which means they're fresh for like so much longer than they are. And I'm vacuum sealing every mother effer. Like all the fruit, it's all been vacuum sealed. So because it's the air, isn't it? That's what gets to it and makes it, when you vacuum seal something, it gets, the air gets doesn't get to it, so it doesn't spoil. But anyway, that's the funness of my life at the moment. But anyway, hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Take care, everyone. Peach's gone too. Good. I'm glad. And I've got a sous vide machine as well because I like that. I like my sous vide. It's my steak. So you vacuum seal. But I used to do it like within a Ziploc bag and the water displacement. So you take all the air out but now I've got it all. But so you drag me back in, Peach, man. Anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Very, very important. And come on your irons. See you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Much love.